Salamence is the final raid before being able to battle Jirachi here in PokeMMO. The strategy for this fight is very simple. It is not as complex as Gardevoir, and it is not as difficult as Tangrowth or Togekiss. Basically, you Tailwind turn 1, and on turn 5 when the first Tailwind ends, and you also heal block on turn 3 or 4 because the boss uses Wish. So when the fight begins, Salamence will use Roar, which means that whoever is using heal block wants to start off with that Pokemon out, so there's no chance that your heal block mon comes in on the Roar. You are going to want to keep resetting until whoever's running Murkrow has one Murkrow out. So if there's like two people running Murkrow, which is, ideal, you only want one Murkrow out, and you also want both Murkrows, or I guess you could use Whimsicott or any Prankster Tailwind, to use a Mental Herb item. The reason for this is because at 35% health, Salamence will use Taunt, which makes it so your Pokemon cannot use status moves, and Mental Herbs will prevent this from occurring. Another important note is that at 25% health, the boss will have a permanent Tailwind. Now, with the permanent Tailwind, you will still be faster if you are using fast Pokemon. In our fight, we used two Weaviles, and both of them did 6% damage, which is cap, which killed the boss on turn 6. If you do not have Weavile, or potentially other fast Ice-type Pokemon, you can use fast Dragon-type Pokemon like Hydreigon, or you can use Ice-type Pokemon with Ice Shard, which is a priority move like Sucker Punch or Tailwind, where it will go first even if they're slower. So really, you just want a Tailwind on turn 1 and have the other 3 players use an Ice-type move. Ideally, you can also use a Dragon-type Pokemon with Draco Meteor, but obviously the Ice types are probably cheaper and also will end up doing more damage. Cloyster with Choice Band, Icicle Spear did maximum damage. Jinx with Ice Beam that didn't even have a plus special attack nature did max damage. Vanillix Ice Beam did max damage. Articuno Ice Beam did max damage. Weavile Ice Punch did max damage. We even had a Draco Meteor Kingdra do 3.9% damage. We had a Poliwrath and Ludicolo with Ice Beam did 2.1 and 1.7% damage. Speaking on while the boss has Tailwind up, you could always use Icy Wind to guarantee a -1 speed drop. That is also a viable strategy if everyone does not have fast Pokemon for the last 2 turns while Tailwind is up. Turn 1, I had a Mamoswine come out, and I used Ice Shard because I did not have Icicle Spear. So if you're using Mamoswine, teach it Icicle Spear. That will do max damage, but Ice Shard will only do around 3.7%. Otherwise, this fight is extremely simple, extremely easy. There's only some RNG on turn 1. You might need to reset a few times to get the one Murkrow out. It took us literally over 10 attempts, maybe over 20, to finally get that first Murkrow out, but it only took us 2 tries to beat the boss, because the first try, our second Murkrow did not have Mental Herb. So make sure that your Prankster Tailwind Pokemon do have Mental Herb.